I'm doing a reaction video to a video that was done by a person with thejapanchannel.com. It's a video series done by a man who I believe is Australian, judging by his accent, who does videos about Japan and living in Japan and like kind of a guide for foreigners to Japanese behavior. And if you're interested in living in Japan, I'll put a link now below me. His latest video was basically aimed at those who are keen, foreigners who are keen to go to Japan to, you know, be manga artists or Japanese anime people or video game designers. And basically what he said was, no way, no how. Don't even try. The chance is zero. I'm here to dispute that. Now, I don't think I know more about Japan than he does, but I think I probably know more about the development of anime and manga than he does, and how the manga and anime and gaming industry even works in Japan, because I've, you know, read scholarly books about it and stuff. So yeah, right, okay. So the first thing to say why I don't think that video gamers are doomed, you know, video game designers, first of all, I have to say that if you have your heart, you know, set on being a video game designer, actually you'd probably be better served if you're an American staying in America, because American, you know, gaming companies are now making more money than Japanese gaming companies, and they're outproducing them. The quality of the game is a whole other issue. I'm just telling you the money of the situation, and that's what the money of the situation is. If you want to make video games, stay in America, or come to America, whatever. And if you're like really hell-bent on getting to Japan, I'd say build up a career here first if you want to go to Japan. The manga situation is confusing and sticky. He said that there are a lot of people who draw comics, you know, the Japan.com guy, you know, as a hobby, but you see there's a difference between like people who doodle for fun and people who are actually serious about being manga artists in Japan. The key word here is artist. Artist means poor. If you want to go to Japan to publish your manga, you are going to have to get a real job, because doujinshi artists, which is probably how you would enter, you know, the industry, which is how most people enter the industry, is not a official job in Japan, because the Japanese do not collect taxes on the profits of doujinshi. And actually this was an issue where a woman who actually became a millionaire by publishing, you know, doujinshi had to pay like thousands of dollars in back taxes, because, you know, she had accumulated so much wealth, and, you know, the Japanese are like, well, no, we're not cool with that, you know, the government. But that's how governments work, so there you go. Huge venues like Comet Cat are now accepting, you know, people from overseas, and people apparently like a requirement to participate in Comet Cat and sell your doujinshi. You know, being a Japanese citizen isn't a requirement if that's what you want to do. So right, like, you know, giant venues like Comet Cat are there for, you know, people to showcase their work. And if you happen to, you know, get a fan following, then, you know, awesome. Then you can subsidize your income of whatever real job that you have. But again, you cannot go to Japan and be like, and put down doujinshi artist. You can't do that. I know grappler JMO, who is also in Japan now as a English teacher, He is an anime reviewer. He doesn't, hasn't obviously reviewed anime in a while since he's, in Japan and teaching English and focusing on his work and stuff. He said that a way that you can enter or like try to get into the manga industry is become an assistant to another artist. And you see, that is an official job, because like if you're the person your assistant to is getting published in Shonen Jump, then the government collects his taxes from your income. You see, that's a real job. So right, if you happen to get in that way and that's how you're going to get to Japan, good for you. I mean, but you'll have to work your ass off for it. I have to not only be talented, you have to work really, really, really hard. It's like anything else in life. And I think that he said, Grappler made Mojo, said that that there is now an American woman who is an assistant to an established mangaka in Japan. So there are foreigners who are going to Japan and entering and, being a part of the manga industry. That leads me to anime. Now, you see, the anime industry at Standpoint is in trouble. For a couple reasons. Not only because of the download business and, like companies like Funimation and, Viz and Bandai not getting money. In Japan, it's in serious trouble because you see, like, the entry level position for like one of the established anime studios, like Gainax or Gonzo or Bones or Sunrise, sucks. It's a horrible income. You cannot live on that money alone. You cannot live on an entry level position into the anime industry alone. And why that is a topic for a whole other video. But you can't do it. So there are a lot of young people in Japan, talented young people in Japan, who just don't want to enter the industry because of how much the pay sucks. So, and that's why, like, Funimation is now subsidizing Gonzo, which is why Funimation exclusively owns the rights to all of Gonzo's material for distribution and dubbing in America, and maybe in Canada too. I don't know how far-reaching Funimation is, but right, there's that. So, I don't know, and if the trend of subsidization by American companies continues, then I think that also American companies might also have a hand in actually producing anime, which means that you wouldn't even have to go to Japan. You could go to, well, Texas, but whatever. That could be, your way to go, to get in there. But again, I mean, if you're like really hell-bent on, like making anime, then you will be starving in Japan. And also the veterans are very, very, very worried about this. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why Miyazaki hasn't retired yet is because he doesn't feel like there's anybody to take his place. Like, he wants his son to take his place, but as I understand, that's a very, like, not good relationship that they have. But still, his son is 40 years old. I mean, he's not a young guy. And, like, all of the industry leaders are in their 40s at the youngest. So these veterans are very worried about the future of anime. So, but I think that will change since the Japanese government sees the soft power now of anime, and anime will become subsidized by the Japanese government. I mean, that's not a for sure, but that's just a prediction of the future of anime that I have. So it will become more delocalized, to Japan, and it won't be just Japanese anymore, most likely, is my opinion. I mean, how you feel about that is a whole other situation, but the money and the practicality of it is, that's probably how it's going to go down. So yeah. Okay, right. I hope that this was instructional, and I don't mean to like bash, the JapanChannel.com guy. I mean, he knows what he knows about. I know what I know about, and what I know about is anime and the anime industry and anime fans because, hey, that's what I want to spend my professional career studying. So, right, that is all the information that I have to dispense at the moment. Sayonara und auf Wiedersehen.